Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity and Love, incredible experts the world over with amazing insights. They've been on their own transformative journey one way or the other, and have usually decided to turn around and provide service to others, to give service to others. We've had all walks of life from all over the globe, and something that's special about the show that makes it very unique, that if you only came in for the first half an hour or hour of a longer show, you might miss. Many of our guests, I would technically say 98%, have taken steps with angels or at least caught some lit sage on air that I waft or blow through two computer screens. And you can do any of these moves that you see other guests do, including smelling that sage wherever you are on the globe. I needed to mention that. We're also about to hit 500,000 channel views, which is really exciting. But we also have a very shy audience base. They don't like to do too many comments, but we've been getting more and more lately. All I can say is you got to secret out, do emojis. Just hit the thumbs up, like button, subscribe, share this with a friend. It's the way we get the shows out. And again, the caliber of the guests, it's huge for our, still growing up and coming show. We've had a White House physician to the US president, the youngest Delta Force operator ever, who's a naturopath on the side, psychologists, world-renowned, New York Times bestsellers, healers, you name it. And today we have a very, very special guest, originally from Europe, originally from Belgium, psychologist, but was a singer-songwriter at one point, totally musically inclined, totally amazing. You're going to love her energy. She's a healer as well. I'd like to welcome Ilse Gevaert. I'll say it that way. There's a couple ways you can say her last name. She's coming to us from Miami right now. Ilse, great to see you again.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, all I can tell you is we've spent time together. You have fabulous energy. You're all about, when it comes to your clientele on the psychology side, you're all about trauma, resilience, neurodiversity, but we could be talking any of the ADHD to autism to everything in between or beyond, and a bunch of other areas. You're a coach, a life coach, leadership coach, executive coach, and more. You're multi-talented and your energy reflects it. I think the audience is going to absolutely just drink this up today. I can't wait to hear what you share with us. But can you talk to us about your path and how you got onto this particular career path today? But it wasn't always like that before.
Absolutely. Ever since I was a little girl, I was always singing, but I was also always listening to people, and people would tell me their secrets, and I would just care so much. And I always wanted to help them, but I didn't know how. And so for me, the natural choice was to study psychology. My parents were not so excited for me to study music because I was born with only one arm. And they said, well, Ilse, you can't be a waitress in case of, your music ambitions don't succeed right away. So you need to study something and be able to work with your mind. And I loved it, and I still do, and I can't get enough, and I have hundreds of books that I love reading. Yeah, so that's really how I got there, and it's a wonderful field, ever growing, and I feel like it becomes more and more interesting each day.
Okay, again, talk to us about your areas of specialties today. You've got at least 6 or 7, if not more. And why did you choose those areas?
Yeah. A lot of the areas are complex matters that people can really get stuck in and lost in and feel hopeless or helpless, such as trauma. But luckily, there's really good news because you can totally heal. Thanks to neuroplasticity, something that I'm really excited about, we can really reprocess our memories and reorganize our brain and grow new pathways and make new positive memories around the traumatic event. I absolutely love it. And the deep dive in that, well, it's also a little bit of a personal story there. And also the neurodiversity. In my family, where we have a very neurodiverse family, and I have ADHD, And us women, we get diagnosed so late in life because we compensate, we mask, we want to blend in, we want to please. And so, so we're struggling with this internal chaos. And yeah, I really wanted to know everything there was to know about it. And so I did. And I'm so happy that I did, because to be educated and informed really helps to have more compassion for ourselves, because a lot of people carry an immense weight of guilt and shame, and it's really not necessary. So that self-love, that self-compassion, and really that understanding of the neurodiversity, it's a neurological condition, and we're all wired differently. And now how can we rewire our brain and make it work as best as we can? So those are like the complex areas. The field of resilience, I've always been really, really excited about. Like I feel like I naturally had that a bit, and I wanted to understand what it was. And Harvard University has a brilliant course on it. It's a mental health course, and it's a course on building resilience. And I signed up for it. I'm like, tell me all there is to know. I loved it. And then leadership also. I'm really, really interested in leadership, especially women in leadership too. I would love to see more of that. So I took a course at Cornell, on a specialty course on how to get women in leadership and support them. And I'm very, very passionate about it.
Okay, and all of this is about healing, which is just to make whole or to let go of a little bit of thinking, a lot of trauma, a lot of resistance, what we have to life. I think that's all of us. We all go through ebbs and flows in life. Some of us a little more on the ebb side. How much right now do you consider yourself to be a healer or a listening, healing presence, whichever way you're more comfortable with?
Yeah. Both. Both the listening part and the healing part is so important.
I'm going to give a couple definitions of healing that I've just collected over the years. Here's 2 or 3. A healer is simply someone who helps a person confront opposing forces within him or herself to promote health. A true healer kindles the power already within another. And then one of the most powerful things a healer can do for someone as a healing presence is simply believe. What's a reaction to any or all of those?
Yes. Well, first of all, goosebumps. Uh, Hell yes. And as a psychologist and as a coach, you need to have a positivity bias. You need to believe in your clients. You need to believe in yourself. And that's how miracles happen, but also how creativity flows. And once you have creativity, there's really no stopping you.
Okay, where along your path did you have to let go of some of those obstacles? It's like a card game. I'm in Texas, so we'll use Texas Hold'em. You're always dealt a few cards that you think are low or have no value. But the second, and I think this is what you teach people, is stop looking at it in a linear way. Those 2s, those 3s are really aces. It depends on your perspective and how much you want to open up your consciousness. Talk to us about the cards you were dealt either early on, midway through. What did you have to let go of to start really flourishing?
Yeah, I actually remember a really big one when I was a little girl. And so I went to a Christian school, and all of us toddlers automatically believed that Jesus was gonna come and give me an arm. Like, because we were hearing the stories from the Bible and it was awesome. And all of a sudden I realized, oops, he hasn't been here for a while. Shoot, I don't think he's gonna come. And wow, do I have to live with, a prosthetic arm for the rest of my life? Am I really disabled? And I remember that choice, like, because the feeling was so bad. And I remember the choice, do I want to feel this way? Or do I want to embrace the talents that I have? And luckily, by that age, I already realized my strengths. And And I was like, you know what? I'm going to choose that positive feeling, and I'm going to choose to look at what I have and not at what I don't have.
Hmm. Okay, talk to us a little bit about where you've lived. You started off in Belgium?
Yes, started off in Belgium, graduated there as a psychologist, and then really focused on the music while I was working as a psychologist, but really focusing on the music. A friend of mine was in New York. She's like, "You have to come to New York." And I did. I loved it. I ended up working with really great musicians. It took a while, actually a few years. But yes, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Released a single, I'm Human. It's a song about uniting ourselves, but also about being really true to ourselves, how society sometimes wants to put us in a mold and we all have to be the same way, and how to really liberate ourselves from that pressure and be our unique and authentic self. So I really love that. And then I got pregnant, which was a real blessing. And I have a son, he's almost 9, and he's the greatest gift of my life. So yes, it's definitely been a bit of like I really had to focus on him for a while, and but I'm also definitely, and especially after our session together, I was just so loaded with all this positive energy, and I actually wrote another song. Yay.
That's awesome. Hey, you get a lot of compliments. I can just tell you that now. And if the audience hasn't figured out, you got a really high vibe. Especially the other day was fun, and just before the show, and then even after this, when we stop taping, we'll have some more fun. But what are the compliments you typically hear? I hate to have you to have to say this out loud, but if more people did compliments, accepted self-love, or offered love to complete strangers with random acts of kindness and compliments, the world would be a gentler place. What have you been hearing from a lot of people for decades now? I can start with one: positivity.
Yes, positive. And most people, and especially my friends, see me as a nice person, a kind person, and I love that.
I
That's
love
great.
it. Okay, talk to us about the universe. Where are you putting all your poker chips right now? How big is the universe? Is love the fabric of the universe? How do you view everything, or is it still a work in progress and you're just scratching the surface?
Wow. Um, Definitely feel like I'm always scratching the surface. I've been thinking about this since I was little. I definitely believe that it's a universe filled with love, but there's also chaos sometimes, and conflict and challenges. So what I then see as the second most positive force is growth. I love growth. So love, growth, um, also healing that comes, like from all that conflict, we can move through healing. So maybe also a lot of transformation of energies. That's kind of like how I see that.
Okay, and have you seen auras a few times in your life, only when you were a kid? It's nonstop 24/7 on people, and you're like, make it stop. Can you describe where you are on the whole seeing auras on people, or is it feeling the vibe on everyone?
Feeling, definitely feeling for me. I would love to see an aura. I have never seen an aura. I would love to see an aura. But I did know that my sister was pregnant, like literally a few weeks before she was pregnant, my own pregnancy. So there's really these wonderful miracles in life, and I just love it. It makes me love life even more.
Hmm.
These miracles, I love it.
Well, are you ready to see some auras? We'll do a quick tangent
Yeah.
here, and let me think for a second. The blue sky is number one. This will be from the movie Celestine Prophecy. I'll put up my fingers this way. There was a jungle scene with the guy from Band of Brothers, and either the JAG actress or it was NCIS, I forgot. But as a guest on this show said, who was around in the 70s, She said, nah, we were doing this before the movie ever was made. We were doing it this way. And I know in India they do it this way. So I'm going to be standing with this as the background. So it's going to be awkward to do it this way. I'll do it this way. You'll be able to see a filament or a wisp of light between my fingers. It'll be gold, green, yellow, 15 colors at once. Whatever it is, but you get a dad joke out of this. Even if you've heard it before, it'll be Santa's reindeer, that one. All a person has to do at home is get out of the head into the heart, and you do it every day to flip a light switch, fall asleep at night, brush your teeth, go play on the soccer field or the soccer pitch, to do art, singing. I mean, a million ways to let go to get to here. That's it. So here's the dad joke for everybody. And you're going to be in your heart and you're going to do the Zen thing, seeing without seeing, because your heart's already plugged into everything and everyone. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen and Dancer, just those two. Why do they drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's. Starbucks. See a little filament, energetic flow between my fingers. Ilse, what do you see between my fingers?
Yes, I see like light coming out of your fingers and sliding.
What color is it?
Yeah, between white and blue, and they also connect.
And if anybody wants to ask an angel or the universe to come in and do hearts, fireworks, sparklers, something that you know wasn't part of the original show, ask for extra, get extra, because it comes down to what will you ask for, what will you allow for in each moment. So Ilse, are you asking for anything extra? Breathe through your mouth at home if you need extra help turning up the volume. And see if you can get a little flare, a pink heart, green clovers. Let's make it Lucky Charms, the cereal. What are you getting?
More light.
I didn't do it. We're going to blame angels, but you asked and you received, and that's what this is all about. Where have you personally had an experience in life where you've done just that? You've been like, universe, I need help here, and then voila.
Oh, everywhere and all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like my life is like a series of miracles of wishing for things, and boom, there it is. And sometimes also with a massive delay, but that's fine too.
Give us a few of those details. We want flavor.
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely with the music, right? Like meeting a fabulous producer that loves organic music. Like I love strings. Yeah. And one person connected me to another person. So that's then how I found those. But yeah, it can also happen like with little things. Oh God, I have such a hard time like coming up with like recent examples. But it really happens all the time, and I love that.
Okay, and we'll come back to that. If something pops up, you're going to let us know. Back to energy and not reading people. We're not prying, but you just get a feel so that you know which way to handle the situation or the setup and how to address it. Talk to us a little bit about when a client comes to you, are you already getting a sense for which way to roll with the next step?
Um, I usually start with body awareness, somatic awareness. So I usually do mostly have a sense of where we're going, but that's just mostly because of the formula. Yeah, so I love to start with the basics, with our body, feeling our body, getting in touch with our body. And it's really a wonderful first tool to increase emotional intelligence. So we start with emotional awareness. And also from there, we can start to regulate. But first we have to notice. And by the way, I just remembered of a recent example of something that I wished for and it happened. So I was wishing for an official narcissistic abuse training. Because I felt like, okay, I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of books, but I wish there was like a real certification course. And within 2 weeks that I wished it, boom, Pessy released it. And then they even released a second one. So I'd love to take the second one as well. But that was a recent example of like, wow, I just told my friend, like, hey, I wish, there was an official certification program. And there it was. Yeah, that's a more recent example.
I love it. And how would you describe, most of us going around, we're used to saying my situation is, my problem is, this happened to me. I think it's Ted Lasso had the Amsterdam scene with the owner of the soccer club saying, hey, this is happening to me. But the owner of the barge, the houseboat, was like, no, life events don't happen to you. They happen for you.
For
There's something from the neck up where we're stuck, problems, situations, trauma, it resides. But the more you can get into your body, the more you can go with the flow, the more you can shift. Talk to us about that dynamic of like up here and then down here.
Absolutely. Yes. So especially when we're in trauma, for example, our brain gets stuck in the limbic hijack. So you get stuck in a loop. Even with ruminating, you can have that, or in a like you're experiencing a lot of stress and you'll just keep thinking about the same thing and you can't get out of your head. So that's like a great example. And then you can really slow down that cycle by writing it down and splitting it up between thoughts, feelings, also feelings in your body, and what am I doing? What am I noticing that I'm doing? Because then usually, let's say you start shaking, and then the loop gets even worse. Why am I shaking? Why can't I control myself? So by writing it down, like thoughts, a triangle from thoughts, feelings, behavior then again influences our thoughts, we can really slow down that cycle. And by writing it down and seeing it from an objective perspective, we actually distance ourselves from our emotions. So that's, for example, a way to do that, like from a rational mind, but we can also do it in our body. For example, taking a 10-second break and try to relax as many muscles as we can. Oh, just for 10 seconds. And then feeling the difference that makes. And then imagine doing this 10 times a day. Now, how are you going to feel then? So little things like that can really help.
I love it. What percentage or a range, if you don't mind trying to chop it up this way, people are disconnected from their presence, their authentic inner self, their body, if you want to call it that. What percentage of everyone's situation is that disconnectedness, and you're helping them just reconnect to what they've already got? How do you like to describe that? Is that a fundamental sort of an intersection of everyone's dilemmas going on?
Unfortunately, yes. Like it starts early on from our parents or caregivers. They have a lot of expectations that are not necessarily our own, or not really aligned with our talents necessarily. Society has a lot of expectations, especially minority groups are really struggling with this. There's also stereotypes that we're struggling with. That's how our brains just work, right? They like to simplify things, but unfortunately we're constantly stereotyping others, and we're all doing it. And so it's important that we become aware of that, because yes, all of us are hurting from pressure or stereotypes for sure. And then it's really hard to get back to our authentic self. But yeah, like having some mantras or things that you love about yourself or that other people love about you, really, really repeating that in your mind, like before you go to a meeting, is really helpful.
I'm going to read a definition of ego, and I'm going to read a definition of compassion. And there's trillions of definitions of both. That one's from an angel, one's from a Native American chief, Dull Knife. Take that with a grain of salt, but they're beautiful definitions. An angel said, when asked, what is ego about? Heather said, ego creates so many unneeded false hopes and expectations. And then for compassion, Dull Knife said, being kind to yourself and letting go of past failures and accomplishments in the now. That was a beautiful definition of compassion. What are your reactions to those, or do you have your own way of remembering how you define stuff?
I thought it was so beautiful and so healing. Like it's you just nailed it, Michael. Yeah, you really did.
Share with us one of those moments. It was energetic. The universe stepped in. Have you met a sparkly eyed stranger ever, had a moment of synchronicity, serendipity, where you still flash back to that moment? That person wasn't there 5 seconds later. They just said the right thing, right time. They said you should take Professor Gerson's class, and they're gone. Was there a moment in life where you've had a run in with someone somewhere that was a bit of synchronicity?
I'm
We can
trying
come
to.
back to that if we need to, but
Yeah, let's come back to that. Like if I, yeah, that's a really good question.
what I'll do is blow some sage. This is a staple on the show through two screens all over the world. It doesn't matter if it's 2030 and you're in Japan, Germany, New Zealand, wherever. There's not as much time and space as you think there is, because this isn't about thinking, it's about less thinking. So get to your heart, however you do it. I think that's what we've been talking about the first part of the show. Let go, let go, let go, like Ilse in Frozen 2. Did I say her name right? Uh,
Yeah.
very important movies. Disney films are usually spot on, the original classic ones. Uh,
Yes.
this is some lit sage. People can start tasting it even. I don't recommend it, but it's energy. Smell a little bit of sage. Catch flowers. Why settle for linear? You can have flowers, you can have ocean. Ilse, in Miami, are you already getting the smoke from the lit sage?
Yes, absolutely.
Any flowers creeping in there? And people ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart, help you do catching the scent without catching the scent, this Japanese Zen thing. You're already connected fully to the universe when you're in your heart. Athletes know it. Musicians know it. We forget it, though, 50 times a day. Good luck with trying to remember anything. Ilse, what are you getting? Anything extra? Ocean?
Jasmine, my favorite scent.
Okay, and my microphone's above the laptop, so it's going to look like I'm blowing upwards, but I'm going to blow Hawaii wind on your nose. It's really angels bringing you Hawaii. Catch a little ocean scent. Did you get anything?
Yes.
I didn't do it. We got an angel named Min. People can meet later. We'll get back to that. What would you want to share with us about how unlimited everything is? Good luck with anybody believing it, because they've got their, credit card statement. This happened, that happened, their cousin, the work situation, the drama, the relationship, what happened last week. What's your big picture message about how beautiful life is and how big the universe is?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's so big. I feel like it and I think it, from what we know in astronomy also, it is forever expanding. That's definitely how I feel it too. And then like even if we look inside our brain, we have 125 billion neurons all firing, and we can make pathways between all of them. They work brilliantly like airports. It's just fabulous. It's a miracle, and there's really no limit to what we can do. I have definitely never hit the limit.
Okay, so business types, when they come to you, obviously they're going to get a dose of inspiration, creativity. Tell us a little bit more on why you love helping business types, coaching and inspiring.
Yes. I mostly love increasing the emotional intelligence. And also they are interested in it as well, because it actually increases the productivity in the company. But for me, obviously, the most important thing is that everybody works as a team and everybody feels like they belong. And I also really encourage leaders to hire neurodiverse people, to hire minorities, because it not only does it help increase the creativity of the team and the thinking, also everybody feels more like they belong and that they have the right to be unique in such a colorful environment.
Okay, and back to your kind of super skills, because you're intuitive. What do you not tell people? Because you're highly trained, the Harvard thing, Ghent University, everything else. So you're properly trained, highly trained, and very good at what you do. But you've got a little extra going on that allows you to assess the situation, flow a little bit of energy. It's all kind of invisible. And, science is trying to play catch up with consciousness studies and everything else. How would you describe that extra je ne sais quoi that is you, that adds extra seasoning and flavor to the recipe or the mix?
I think I can definitely sense people's pain points, and I will just kind of like hold that for them, and I'm not going to talk about that. But then when it comes up, then there's all this love and acceptance ready for them.
Well, I love it. Okay, we're going to take a couple steps with angels. I'm going to put up the very first angel. Her name is Joy. She's the ambassador communicator. This is a photo of an angel, pink ball light in light energy form. Photos can move. We'll do historical Audrey Hepburn from Europe originally. I forget it was Netherlands, Belgium, probably Netherlands. I'll have to look it up. There she is. You can silently ask a question, get an answer, but why don't you ask her, what do we all need to remember? Get a beautiful voice coming in. For anybody at home trying, just breathe through your mouth extra to turn up the volume. Silently ask Joy what you need to know, and you'll hear your voice for a half second. And the second you get comfortable, it's a high, peppy 28-year-old voice, female.
Yeah, like the thought that pops in my mind is like, things work out. Like, don't worry so much, things work out.
Mm. And it's like thinking about anything, thinking about walking the dog, mowing the lawn, doesn't walk the dog, doesn't mow the lawn, thinking about giving a hug to your kid is not, the kid's like, hey, where's my hug? So thinking up here, the last time I checked, most of it, and I'm judging, but it's true because most of our thinking, the currency we use as humans today, it's thinking that precludes possibility. So it's a total waste of energy. But don't tell anybody, I got to go back to thinking in about an hour and a half. I'm going to do it the rest of the night. You're lucky if 7% of your day could be less thinking. And that's what she says. The Olympic gold medal for all of us daily is 7% less thinking, or flip that pancake. It's 7% more time in our heart. This is Charlotte, everybody's favorite teacher from third form, third grade. Mrs. Johansson, not Mrs. Wilson, who put you in detention every other day.
Mhm.
What are you getting from Charlotte as a reminder?
I'm getting balance, like thinking, can lead to worrying, and why don't we focus more on balancing ourselves?
Ooh.
And
And
more
yeah, the work-life balance, the balance though between here and here. And why don't we use me as the guinea pig? I don't mind being thrown under the bus. Can you just hear from her that yes, Mike is daily, still 13 years into this, still working on letting go, even though there's no work, no tri iota. And what does she say about moi in a polite, cool way? What do you
yeah.
hear?
Well, that you're doing beautiful work and that you should be really proud of yourself.
I am, but I also know I'm getting a lot of angels helping me get out of the brain because I was in New York City for a long time. Once you've done the big corporate thing or a big city, it's hard to get out of the rat race, which
Yes.
isn't the companies, it's actually your own brain that you go around in circles on. I got
Yeah.
another angel for you. She's light waves of energy and water, my guardian angel, but also Dr. Karen Wyatt's guardian angel. People should check out that episode August 30th of 2024, if they want to get a good story. She got to see her as a 10-year-old standing at the foot of her bed as a white angelic figure. And from then on, she knew she wanted to be a doctor. And here she is talking to us as a retired physician. What a wonderful interview that was. And you can see angels in human form, and she got to run into her guardian angel as a human in California. Okay, what's Min got for you? That's the Lakota Sioux word for water, and she's very oceany, Mother Hawaii-ish.
Yeah, she's definitely also saying to me that we can heal ourselves and our bodies and constantly grow new pathways, and like, give it time. Give it some time.
I love it. I'm going to get a figure from India, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago. And you can get a mantra from him that is good for you, good for me, good for the audience. And you'll explain how a mantra works. how it can raise your vibe. But here's a colorized photo of the gentleman, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, Mr. Miracles, tight with angels. And if anybody wants to see him move, wink, smile in the photograph, I'm using 2 hands to steady the phone. But this photograph and Audrey Hepburn, who's coming next, have easily moved, and we know a photograph can't move, but they do. Breathe through the mouth if you need extra help at home. And you can catch a temple deep in the lush jungle of India, highest vibration. You can catch temple incense in the air to help set you at ease, and even go to your foundation, your heart. Ilse, are you getting a little bit of incense now?
Yes.
And he's compassion, 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 also action. And he straddles 3 religions: Hinduism, Islam, and Buddhism. And what's
I really see him as someone who's a master of that balance, and who says work towards that balance every day. Remind yourself of that balance.
And if you want to close your eyes, you don't need a photo at home. You can just ask for a little vision or reminder, like an 8mm or a movie reel. Close your eyes and have him show you something from India. It might be a lotus flower, a shot of the valley, a flowing river with a little message attached to it, while I pull up Audrey Hepburn. Ilse, when you get it, let us know what you got.
I see a bird. I don't know what kind of bird it is, but I see a bird.
I didn't do it. Okay, here's Audrey Hepburn, and she's an angel, and she's from one of the 2 countries right next door to each other, Netherlands or Belgium, we should know. I'm bad. But she's wonderful. Eyebrow can go up. She can shoulder waggle, smile, wink, allow, catch an uninvented perfume from Paris, but feel she's half grace, half sparkle in the moment. Feel some wonderful light and love and energy coming in. And she's high vibe. So what are you getting from her to share with us?
She has an empowering vibe, like, you've got this.
I love it. Okay, if you were to actually hang another shingle out without changing a thing, you still do music, you still do the psychology, helping people, the life coaching, but now you're also putting out an additional shingle as a healer. Could you name a couple modalities or the way you could see it unfolding? We'll give it a year or 2. What do you think that is? And I'll buy you a little help from a Native American chief named Dullknife, whose unconditional love, wisdom, treetop level. You can catch one of those 50 sacred scents in the air: tobacco, sweetgrass, sage, juniper, pine, cedar, desert piñol. Breathe through the mouth at home if you need to catch that smell. People can put their hand up and feel the vibe through 2 screens. He'll tell you a little bit about that unfolding ahead, but share what you can share. And
I feel like he's saying, put your hand on your heart. Oops, sorry about that. We got an interruption.
oh, that works.
I feel like he's saying, put your hand on your heart.
And does he say anything about your music interests and how that will come into play at a later date? You might just hear a yes from him, what he said.
Yes, always. Music is always such a big part of my life. And I feel that music is also healing. Without words, just the melodies, just the instruments are so healing. And then you add words to it, and it's even more, there's so many more layers. Absolutely very healing music. That's probably why I love it so much.
Forgive the interruption. I'll do one more figure for you. Do you want Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Muhammad, Red Shirt, Einstein, Carl Jung? You can do 2 if you want, but who jumps to the forefront that you're like, we should do Carl Jung? Who is it?
I love Einstein.
Okay, cool. And he's got a great sense of humor, very gentle, very loving. And one Einstein coming up. Here we go. Anybody at home needs help, just close your eyes, ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart. If you need to do something to break all your structure, don't make a fire, go in a circle, do something you haven't done. If you're in the supermarket, do the chubby checker Elvis, make everybody laugh, that you'll laugh, and then suddenly whatever you were in the middle of isn't quite the same anymore. Here's Einstein for you. And what are you getting from Einstein?
I'm getting from him like dare to change and do something different. I think he's the one who said, trying the same things and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. I love that. Like, we gotta switch it up, try new things.
In the last 5 years, what are some of the habits you've cultivated? Is it first thing in the morning, at night, when you take a shower? Is it walking the dog, before you make food? How do you slow way down to be appreciative, giving thanks, allowing more? You've got the words.
Yes, I love my morning and my evening routine. The most important thing is shut off the phone. No more phone, no more checking emails, really having a sacred time for yourself. And then, so for me, that's definitely music in the morning. And then in the evening, I love doing a little bit of meditation before I go to bed, a few yoga poses. I don't know too many. But yeah, some simple poses to align and have really have that reset. And in psychology, we also call it, like, you need to have a dopamine reset, because we are all pretty much dopamine junkies, and so we really need that reset and calm down our nervous system and allow for healthy dopamine and connection to come in.
Okay, and water. What do you say about water? Whether it's oceans, rivers, ponds, the shower, drinking it, the bathtub. What's the deal with water?
I love drinking a lot of water. Hydration is so important. I actually noticed that here in the South, I was not used to it. And one day I felt so foggy in my mind. I'm like, what is going on? And then I drank water and everything cleared up. So definitely drinking a lot of water, but I love the ocean. I love taking a bath. I love shower. I love everything water.
Hmm. Before we maybe take another sort of exercise step and then start to wrap it up, talk to us about how everything truly is energetic and that it's almost beyond words. Obviously, we still have to function through words. Psychology is based on words and a lot of principles. And we need to respect that. But talk to us about how you've come to appreciate, though, for so long, how everything truly is energy, love, and then unlove as well. And then what are the dynamics of that?
Yeah, I definitely I definitely have for a very long time have felt that everything is energy and that we return back to energy, like it never gets lost. It can be transformed, but it never can get lost. Matter is created out of energy, like even the entire physical universe out of a very hot energy. Um, yeah, I always come back to that, and I definitely have a belief that when we die, when our physical bodies die, I really, really believe that we live on, that our energy lives on.
Hmm. Okay, and last kind of funky area to talk about is dream time. Have you had some of the most creative moments for music, for work, for just inspiration, logos, marketing, whatever, vacation ideas, dream time? How do you usually roll? Do you never remember it? You always remember it? You actually set some intention for dream time? What's your take on it all?
I definitely get a lot of creativity in my dreams. For example, in music, definitely. I can wake up with a melody or with a topic of a song. I love that. So then, you gotta take notes right away or record it in your phone. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also, yeah, some breakthroughs. Um, yeah, absolutely.
Do
Yeah.
you have pen and paper handy? Not that you need it if you're musically inclined. Then once you catch a catchy, I don't know what to call it, a few notes, a little catch note phrase thing, a riff maybe is it what it's called? Are you ready to hear one now? Just to show the audience that if you go open, and I'll tell a dad joke to reset, And here comes the dad joke. I'll put joy up for you in a second, and you can close your eyes on this one and hear something. It may already start to come in. Ask for a modern, cool riff, whatever it's called. But here's the dad joke. It's Bert and Ernie Sesame Street. Nobody needs to remember these characters, but Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. And leave your eyes on her. If anybody wants to see pulsating light in a very gentle, non-crazy way, just very beautiful. See glitter in the air around you if you wish. Catch roses in the air. But start to hear a melody if you want to close your eyes, or you want to see it, or you want to see her singing it to you. Let us know when you get that beat. Lock it in. Breathe through the mouth if anybody needs extra help. You can at least hear her singing to you, but she might be singing something that's uninvented. That's all you.
For me, it's definitely very much in the distance. I'm not getting a clear sound, just more like a humming, like
Okay.
very gentle.
That'll be something that we'll see how it develops when we touch base after the show and in the days ahead. Okay, Ilse, what else would you want to leave us with? And I'll leave you with a final bit about just kindness these days to strangers and compassion. Here's a couple sentences. I've always got to read it. I can never remember the whole thing. Hopefully this will inspire you to close out the show with something similar. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassionate to all. Do it. What's your reminder that you want to leave us with for all of us?
Beautiful. That really reminded me of connection and how important it is for us to realize that we're all connected and that we're a social species, and harmony is just really important for us. But for like a self-empowerment vision, I would really love for the takeaway to be that we can all heal, we can get better, and mental health is something that belongs to all of us.
Beautiful. Ilse, thank you so much for being on Angels, Positivity, and Love. It's been a total delight to have you on.
It was so much fun, Michael. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.